In this video, we are going to start the glue up process of the charging stand. So for this, what you'll need for clock parts is just the 6 pieces for your clock charging stand. You do not need the base or the clock face at this time. Before we can glue, we need to gather some materials. So you're gonna need to get the glue, paper towels, and your clamps. So we're gonna start over here with the glue and paper towels. Your station has a station number, so you will need to check on these bottles for your station number. They have them on the lid and usually drawn on the side, or there's a label on the side. So please get only your station number. So if I was a station 9, I would get station 9. So you need one bottle. You will share this. It's also shared with every class and with the 7th grade STEM projects. So you need to make sure that you put this back right where you got it in this basket. You're also gonna need 2 paper towels. So you'll need 1 dry paper towel and 1 will be dampened for wiping up glue. So each person needs 2 paper towels. You will share the glue as a group. So we'll get those to our table, and then you need to come to the back and get your clamps. Again, the clamps have a station number assigned. They are back here in the shop on the windows. 1 through 8 are back here on the south side of the shop. And 9 through 15 are over here on the north windows. So we're gonna grab these clamps. Notice they have a number written in the window ledge, and there's also labels on the clamps themselves with the station number. They're also written on the side of the clamp. To release them, you are going to squeeze this little lever right here. There's the big trigger and there's a small lever. Squeeze the small lever and pull it away from the windowsill. If you take both, you and your partner will have to take turns using one at a time, and then when you get to the point where you're putting everything together, you can help each other and use both. Again, last little thing here is you need to dampen 1 paper towel. So there's the sink at the front of the classroom. This is not a pool party. This is not play in the water time. This is merely just get a little bit of your paper towel damp. Get it wet, squeeze out the water. You do not want it soaking wet. This is just so that we can wipe off any glue that squeezes out, which we need to do that just in case, because it will solidify on the outside surface of the wood and you won't be able to stain, which is the next step after this. All right, so once you have this, you've got your clamps for you and your partner, you've got your glue, they all have your station number right there on them. Again, there's station number 9. I've got glue bottle number 9 if that's the station I'm at. Okay? So the dry paper towel is what you're going to do your work on. The damp paper towel, again, set that off to the side for now. That is what you're going to wipe off any glue with. Your glue bottle should be closed and be cleaned off. There shouldn't be a bunch of glue all over the tip. And they've recently been filled, so that shouldn't be an issue. We're going to start with our small and a medium-sized piece here, kind of our little legs for the back. Again, when you glue these up, these are going to make the charging stand legs. So they'll be stacked like this first. Then those get stacked up with this bigger front piece. So it'll look like this. And then the smaller long piece will be sitting on top. So it's going to be really important that we keep everything square so that we have even edges here and even corners and everything in the back. There's a couple techniques we'll use to show that. So we're going to start just with our little legs here. We can do 1 set at a time because you and your partner will be sharing the clamps. When you do this, we're going to apply glue to the small piece. So we've got our no sand faces and then the bottom edge to make sure that both the bottom edges are those cut edges that were cut on the saw. So they're both equally a little bit rough so they can stick to the base. So this is what it's going to look like. You want to make sure that your edges line up. Check both of your pieces though. You might have some that are closer to the right width. One might be slightly wider than the other. And you can see that these two are a perfect match. Okay, so we got our glue. I'm gonna open it up. We're gonna put just a little spot of glue right here in the middle. We don't want it globbed out all the way to the edge or it will squeeze out. What I like to do is just take my pinky and just do a little spreading, again staying away directly from the edge, but just kind of spreading that out a little bit more. You wipe your finger off on the paper towel. And when you put these together initially, keep them flat on the table. You're going to keep them flat on the table and hold their edges right near each other. If you need, you can put your finger on the edge. Squeeze it together for a good 20 to 30 seconds. Good even pressure, both pushing down and squeezing it together so that that glue starts to stick. It'll get a little tacky after a few seconds. And again, the whole time checking for any glue run out. I have just a tiny little dribble right here, tiny little speck. I'm gonna wipe that off with my damp paper towel, and I got one right there. You can hardly tell, but you wanna get that wiped off. Now once that's been kind of tacked together, what you're gonna do is take your clamp. The only way to guarantee that this stays straight is to keep it flat on the table. So we're gonna take our clamp, notice it has square corners and edges here. So we're gonna lay it kind of flat on the table itself. You squeeze the little levers to manually adjust, and then you squeeze the big trigger to lock it in. You don't wanna super grip this down, otherwise you can break the clamp and it'll cause the wood to slide. So we're gonna lay it next to your piece of wood here, keeping the clamp flat on the table and your wood flat on the table. Just snug it up. Don't Superman grip it, just snug it up. And you're gonna keep it in the clamp for 3 to 4 minutes. Aim for 4 minutes.
4 minutes later.
Okay, so now once you have both of your little back legs done, we are going to glue those to the large front piece. Again, this is the big piece, not the little piece. We're taking the large front piece. Before you glue it up, choose which face you want to be your good side, the side that you're gonna see. So check the grain, check maybe your sanding or the coloration. This has a little bit of discoloration in the grain, and this is a more even one. So this is gonna be my good side. I am not gonna glue to this side, so make sure you note that. What we're gonna start doing is taking these and gluing them up and matching them to the outside. Same process, put glue on the small piece. We're gonna line it up as close to the very edge as we can, and we're gonna squeeze together and hold it for a few seconds while also pushing down to keep everything square. And then again, once they are tacked, we'll put them in glue up. Again, do one leg at a time, 4 minutes each one. So we're gonna take our glue, just a little bit of glue in the middle. Make sure you close the glue so it doesn't get all gross, and seal the cap up. Spread it a little bit with your pinky. Wipe it off so you don't get glue everywhere else. And then we're going to put this flat on the table. Line up that edge. Get this edge as flush as can be. And apply downward pressure and squeezing pressure to the pieces. Okay, so once you have this tacked up, again, you're going to take your clamp. You will need to adjust it again to fit this a little bit wider. Again, keep it flat on the table. Square up on those pads on the table first, and then gently squeeze together. Again, you're going to hold that in the clamp for about 4 minutes. Again, you want to make sure it's flat. So make sure everything is squared up and flat on the table still. 4 minutes in the clamps, and then we'll come back to it after the wipe.
Another 4 minutes later.
All right, so after you have both legs glued on here, this is where you need to work with your partner. So work together on this because you'll need both clamps to do this properly. We're gonna take the small piece, the last piece here. Now we had marked previously the don't sand, and sand the middle part. That's not, it's okay if you didn't get that fully sanded there. It's not going to be seen a whole lot, but you need to make sure that rough edge goes right on top here. Now you notice even mine doesn't fully fit on here. It's flush here and has a little lip left over right over here, and that's okay because I've got a little bit of a sanding angle here, so I lined this up so the good edge was there. We're going to sand this down afterward just to make sure everything is square on it anyway. So what we're going to do, same process. We're going to take just a little bit of glue and just put a little tiny line right on top of the legs. Just a little line of glue. Make sure again you close that up so it doesn't get all gross. I'm going to spread that just gently, again staying away from the edges. We don't want any squeeze out. Okay, wiping off my finger using the damp paper towel. And we're going to take again that rough edge, and gently place it. This part's really important as you're holding it down. Really check for squeeze out. I got a little squeeze out right there. Okay, that needs to be wiped immediately to the nearest edge. Don't smear it all the way across the piece of wood if you can help it. Go to the closest opening. So that one was the middle. I'm going to keep checking and squeezing down, keeping it flat. That seems to be my only spot, so I'm going to wipe a little bit extra off of there. I'm going to hold it again by hand for about 20 to 30 seconds, making sure everything stays flat and even and has pressure applied for it to start to tack up before we start the clamping process. You will have to work together with your partner on this because it's very, very, very important you apply even pressure to both sides, and you need both clamps to securely lock this in place. Okay, so what we're going to do is lay this down on the back side. So it's laying flat on the back. You're going to take both clamps now. We're going to open them up a bit more. And we are going to lay them flat so that the pads line up right over and under the leg on each side. So we're going to loosely place that there. We're going to loosely adjust and place this here. Again, right in line with the leg so that it all meets. And then take a little slack out, and then together with your partner, one person can kind of help hold it down flat, and the other can just gently squeeze, making sure it's staying flat. It needs to be flat against the table. And just gently squeeze the pressure. Make sure it's all good. Again, don't try to squeeze these like you're the Hulk. Just get them locked up so there's tension. And again, check for any squeeze out. That one spot likes to squeeze out. I don't see anything on the bottom, so we're good. So we're just going to let that set for another 4 minutes.
Yet another 4 minutes later.
Okay, so after that 4 minutes and your glue has had time to tack up, very carefully you're going to remove the clamps. So again, squeeze the little triggers and loosen the bars, the bar clamps. Take those off. Now, just because it's been 4 minutes does not mean that this is fully set up. It takes 24 hours for this glue to fully cure and set up. So be very, very careful. Once you have yours done, I would recommend you very carefully just put it away right in your tub. You can help your partner get theirs done. And don't be shaking around your tub a lot. Just make sure you're very careful with it. And then once this is dry, then we can go on to the next step. So next class you have, you'll be able to sand this down in preparation for staining. Before you go done, all of your supplies gotta go away. So with your glue, you need to make sure that it is fully closed, and if there's any glue on there, use that damp paper towel and clean that off. You don't want glue getting stuck on there so that it clogs it up for the next person. We have to tear the cap off and it's a real pain. Your clamps also need to get put back, so let's go put these away. You're gonna put your glue right back in the basket where you got it, and then your clamps you're gonna bring right back to wherever your windowsill location was. So if you've got these at station number 9, we're gonna put them back at station number 9. To do this, they need to be kind of upside down so the trigger's down. Just hold the little trigger, get it. It doesn't need to be forced down too tightly or just snugging it up. So squeeze the little trigger to open it, hold the top in place and just bring it up to it and give it one little snuggy squeeze. And that's right there back in your assigned space. Again, it could be any station number, whatever yours is, that's where it goes. Get your paper towels cleaned up. They both can go in the garbage since they both probably have a little bit of glue. And again, very carefully put your now glued charging stand into your tubs. Don't shake them up too much because they could still fall apart before the glue is fully cured.